So far in this section, you learned how to require Node.js core modules, how to require your own modules, and so in this video you're going to learn how to require third-party modules from the NPM registry. And actually requiring a module that we already installed from NPM is really simple. So again, we do all the requiring at the top, and usually we require the core modules first, then the third-party modules, and then our own coming from our local file system like this. So the one that we are going to require is called Slugify. Remember? So this is the one that we installed in the previous lecture. And all we have to do to require it is to, just like before, use the require function and then simply the name of the package. And the Node.js will automatically know that it will have to go into the Node modules folder, so this folder where all the dependencies are, and search for that module there. Okay, so again, this will then return a variable, and so we need to save that into a variable. And I'm calling it Slugify here, just like this. Okay, and so Slugify will be a function which we can use to basically create slugs. So again, what is a slug? Well, slug is basically just the last part of a URL that contains a unique string that identifies the resource that the website is displaying. So for example, in our node farm, let's say that when we opened this avocado, instead of having like this ID equals 0, we could have something like fresh avocados, okay? And so this part here, or actually just this part, so this would be the slug. So it's basically this name here, and then based into a unique string like this. And I'm sure that you have seen this all over the place, like in blog posts. It's very common to do it like this, or really anywhere where we do not simply want like something like this. Okay, so ID equals 1, or we could also just use, for example, in this case here, goat and okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, I'm not going to type out the entire name, but the idea is to use a slug, which is this, so a unique string, instead of just the number, which is not meaningful to us at all. Now, let's say this is the first time that you're using the Slugify package. And so in order to figure out how it actually works, we can search for the documentation here on NPM. So we just put the name of the package here, then search for it. And so this is the one that we did install. All right. So we already did this part here. So requiring the module or the package here. And then down here, we can see how we use it. So all we have to do is to use Slugify as a function and then pass in a string. Then down here, you see the options. And for example, we can specify the replacement. So basically what the empty space will be replaced with. And usually that's this dash. So just like I was typing here. But we can specify something different, like an underscore or nothing at all. Okay, here we can specify that we want everything in lowercase. And so let's actually go ahead and do that now in our code. So we have Slugify here, and now just to test it, let's do it here before we create the server. Console.log, Slugify, string, fresh avocados, and then I'm going to specify the option that I just showed you, which is lowercase, and set it to true. Give it a save. And remember that now no longer we have to close the app and restart again. NodeMon does that automatically for us now. And so down here, you already see fresh avocados. I simply did some mistake here. So it's lowercase, but it's still not working for some reason. So let's go back here. And oh, I see, it's actually just lower. But that's exactly what the documentation is for. So for us to see how something really works so that we can use the package correctly in our code. And so just like this, I created a slug out of our initial fresh avocado string. Let's now just do that for all of our products. So they are in data object. So let's create an array of all the slugs. So slugs, so data object dot map. And so this is again just regular JavaScript, so that shouldn't be nothing new to you. So we're looping over the data object and then create a new array based on that. And in each iteration, what we're going to do is to take the element and then create a slug out of that. So slugify element dot product name. So remember, that is where the name of the product is. So here you see product name. And so then this option. And let's actually log that one to the console. And indeed, here we go. So these are our 6 slugs, or actually just 5, out of our 5 products. All right, and so this is how we include a third-party module, take a look at the documentation, and then use it actually in our code. Okay, so this slugify is now a dependency of our code, because without that package, this piece of the code here would now no longer work, right? So our code now depends on having the slugify package installed in the project. Now we could go ahead and actually store these slugs here into the data JSON and then build the app so that instead of the ID, it displays the slug in the URL. But I'm not going to go ahead and do that here because that's just using the same concepts that we learned before all over again. And so that doesn't add nothing new. All I wanted to do in this video is really to show you this process of integrating a new package into our code, taking a look at the documentation, and then just do a simple example with that new module. So that was the goal of this video. That is completed now, and so let's now move on to the next one.